Hey guys, so I was gonna set up like a big, end of the year thing, production, whatever, to shoot this video. But like while I was setting it up, I just felt like it was taking too long to get everything set up, and I was being real nitpicky and perfectionist, and it was kind of just taken away from the meaning of the video. I kind of figured it might be more genuine and like I could come through better if maybe I just set it up like a Zoom call and didn't really worry too much about it. Psych. I've been itching to use these lights since the day I got them, and I hardly ever get the chance, so why not do it now? So 2020 was a blast for me, and I have the pictures to prove it. Actually, the more I think about it, the more sentimental of a person I find that I actually am. And usually it's really not even things so much as it's always been pictures for me. Pictures, when you think about it, are really just moments that were immortalized by the decision to push a button. And as the year draws to an end, I like to look back and see the moments that I decided to immortalize. So today I'm going to show you some of the pictures I took this year and see how well they tell the story of 2020. We're going to start in January. Naturally. And this year, at least according to Google, I took about 75% fewer photos than I have for the past 2 years in a row. Standing here at the end of December 2020, thinking all the way back to January 1st, the number one thing I remember of that night is IHOP.
Hello?
Hey Kyle, it's Brent.
Hey, what's up?
I was going through like the whole last year. My maps show that we went all over the place, and I was looking at January 1st. We went up to Alex's apartment.
Well, we got up there. We left Katie's later. Then we went up to his house and went straight from there to IHOP.
And like this, and like this, and then we can spin.
Oh, okay. I think I got it. No.
Okay, over. And put the whole box up. Over.
And then, yeah.
Do you remember any other details from that night? Like,
Took everyone home and you farted and it smelled really bad.
so the year was off to a great start. Shortly after that, Trinity and I had a paint/jam session. Actually, she painted the whole house and I just wept. Then we had a big old snowstorm. Then my boss tried to drink a gallon of water on a Zoom call. Kyle made hamburgers. My neighbor Butch made cheesecake. And I made, what was it called? Figgy balsamic pork. How many more of these? A few days later, Ellie and I found a robot cleaning up the streets. No, really, what's going on? Then the lake froze. And then I walked on it. I'm on the lake. Then Captain fell asleep like this. And Ellie fell asleep like this. And Jules sat all weird like this. Then we cleaned up the soundboard and I wore my duck tie and I made more food. And that was actually the week of Alex's vigil. That night we actually went back up to the IHOP that first video came from.
It's the Holy Spirit when it penetrates your heart, see? You're full, but it goes into your body.
I didn't know you were filming.
And it shapes the way you taste to the world.
That Wednesday, Wendy's hosted a fundraiser where they actually donated all their profits, and even a couple of others in the area participated, to the family. And I'm blown away. It was really incredible to see all the people lining up around the block and standing out in the cold waiting to get into the Wendy's to show their support for Alex and his family. And this is one of the reasons I think I want to take more pictures, and I think we all should. It's really common to see people criticizing others for taking photos instead of living in the moment. And there's merit to that. I mean, I understand when people are sucked into their phones and they're not experiencing, what's around them. But as our world gets more connected and complex and immediate, I hardly think it's wrong to stop and take a few photos every once in a while. I always thank myself later. Anyways, just a few short days after that, this happened. And then we went shopping, and then I went shopping, and then I spilled water everywhere.
On my brand new carpet, my brand new floor, my brand
And then
new
Lily
couch.
watched me read, and I turned all my lights blue. Then on February 11th, I embarked on the great crossover journey to the south, where I tried to convince Ellie and Trinity to move to Tennessee with me. And it didn't work, but we had a great time. I made a Trello board. We got tacos, and we went to Founders Park, and we shopped, and we went to Freddy's, and then we saw Joe, and we went to Elizabethan and got coffee, and we broke the rules, and then we followed the rules, and we ended up in North Carolina, and Trinity lost her camera remote. Pretend this is her looking for it. And then we went to Asheville and we shopped, and then we saw some cool mountains, and then we went through the Cumberland Gap on the way home. Going into March, we started the month off strong by rearranging my house, and then I committed a moving violation because I just had to record this camo print Cadillac Escalade driving through my neighborhood. Then I found a giant icicle and I broke the gas pump. But then I tried crack for the first time, but then this computer tried crack for the last time. Speaking of computers on crack, Ellie installed SSDs into the iMacs in the CRI office. That weekend, Christian, Eric, and I took off to the Allegheny Forest to do some hiking, and we got a little turned around, so I kept track of where we were going. After we snapped a few pictures, we were on our way back home where Trinity was waiting to make me dizzy, and then Ellie fell asleep in the sound booth and we had an awesome sunset. Also, I think I'm hilarious. And then I have this picture of milk that I took for some reason. Anyways, after that, the boys did some video games and Christian built a computer, and then we did a photo shoot, another gallon of milk for some reason. And then we played some more games, and then Ellie played some games, and then I'm done playing games. Just kidding. Only joking. Actually, there were a lot more games to be played because by this point in the year, COVID was making its rounds across America. Looking back, I think one of the weirdest things for me was seeing Walmart take down all the laptop and phone displays because that kind of made it real for us. In such a small town, it's hard to see when something global is going on because we don't really have that much connection to the outside world the way that a big city does. So when Walmart starts doing face masks and putting up signs everywhere in a small town that's about as close to home as you can get. Actually, for most of us, I think that was probably the first time that it had any real effect on our lives. And then that would have been about the time that I tried to start working more from home just to be safe. And being at home more led to a lot of different things, like spending more time with my roommate Christian. We even went winter kayaking and actually discovered an island. I hate you. Okay, all right, we didn't discover the island. We went over there and we looked at it. And then just a day later, the creek flooded and stole all of our bridges. Right about here, the year kind of slows down in terms of pictures, so we're gonna fast forward a little bit to keep the pace up. Okay, CRI moved its main office to a different room on the south side of the church building. Then Ellie killed some gnats in my kitchen, and it got windy, and then it snowed in the middle of April. And then I went shopping, and then we defused a bomb, and then we put the dock in, and then I got some new lights, and then we found the bridge that we lost in the rainstorm in March. I cannot believe it. And then Ellie let Captain outside, and then a whole month is just a blur until May when the creek floods again and we went kayaking in the fog. And then there's a whole other month that's a blur except for these moments right here. And now we're in July. Kathy drove me on the boat, and I bought a car, and Christian and Hunter almost kissed. And then we saw a UFO.
Where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from? Cotton Eye Joe?
And then I cheese grated my foot. Okay, I won't show you that. I'm not gonna show you that. And then my family built a bonfire and celebrated the 4th of July. And then I dropped Nathan off at the airport. And then the guys had D&D outside, and I found my old car. And then in August, Nathan, Trinity, and I went on a trip to Niagara Falls. After that, Zach, Lincoln, and Joe came up to visit, and we went kayaking, but Joe didn't like that.
I'm 24. I've had enough experiences.
What the f you gonna live for?
I don't like it.
Also, if you're watching this and I told you the story about the dead goose and the snapping turtle, this is the only picture I took from that. Anyways, after that, Zach spiced up the whole kitchen with a low country boil, and we didn't eat until 11 p.m. and then Joe fell asleep on the floor instead of his hotel room. What a dummy. Then Kathy let Simon drive the boat, and when we got back, Simon and I looked for fish under the dock.
That's a big one. Long boy.
And then Bruce put some logs through his sawmill, and then Captain fell asleep like this, and then I shot some video, but it didn't turn out very well. What a dummy. Man, I need to wrap this up. Okay. I drive Tesla. Ranger goes kayaking. Bev stacked creamer. Ham loaf. Saw a Porsche Taycan Turbo S. Sunset. 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 Bridge. Luke. Golf. Grandpa. Walt. Oh, Walt. Flight simulator.
Yeah, that's Darlington Road. This is the road here.
Moving violation. Moving violation. Moving violation. Moving. Like out of their house. And then moving. Like out of my house. In the next few weeks, I took pictures of just about everything I could remember from Pennsylvania. And it wasn't because I hadn't been living in the moment. I actually think I had been living in the moment ever since I shut my car door in Tennessee for the last time in May of 2019. Look, the truth is I moved up north to escape from feelings I'd been holding on to from a relationship that I hadn't let go of yet. And to this day, I firmly believe my time in Pennsylvania was a gift, a perfect set of circumstances, orchestrated by an omniscient creator to guide me down the path that he had laid out for me. And the year didn't end there. In fact, far from it.
These are grown men.
I was able to spend my birthday this year in Kentucky with a group of friends I had grown up. I visited my old stomping grounds, including the church that I went to from childhood to adulthood, the youth room, and even the little office where my brother and I would sit and play with rubber bands while mom and dad had band practice. I am a sucker for memory lane. So when I came back to Pennsylvania, I snapped a bunch of pictures of the things I knew I was gonna miss. These things I took for granted for almost 2 years, the things I couldn't fit in my car to take back home with me. And when I got back to Tennessee, I thought, what better way to get back in the groove of things than to just get back in the groove of things. That meant football games, old friends, old cats. I moved into this apartment and I'm here for at least 10 more months. I'm really sad to see this year come to a close. And for a lot of us anyways, it's been a year of sadness. COVID has caused a lot of us to feel lonelier than we ever have before in an age where we are more connected and available to each other than we've ever been before. And by no means am I trying to tell you how to feel about this last year. It was better for some of us than it was for others. But personally, as sad as I am to see 2020 come to an end, I am that much more excited to usher in 2021. So here's to a fresh start. This is sparkling grape juice, by the way.